Something's Brewing takes us to North Canaan. Great Falls Brewing Company is getting ready to open their doors. Now this is part one. So this week we're going to talk about why they decided to open up in this old train depot. Chris Tripler joining us now, owner of Great Falls Brewing. So nice to be here.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, so what made you decide to open a brewery?
Well, I was teaching for 13 years at Endicott College, and I came through here during the summer times to teach an environmental course at Hotchkiss School. Saw that this building was available, knew I was looking for a little bit of change in life, inquired about the building, and turned out that it was available, and I thought it would be a really cool spot for a brewery.
And this is such a historic building. It was an old train depot.
It is.
You're in a great location.
Yeah, we're hoping that's going to be one of the elements that draws people to this place. It's a little different than a lot of breweries that we know about, and so the history will be a component for people to enjoy.
Yeah, and you could see construction is still obviously going on because you're not open just yet, but we'll get to that. But talk a little bit about the history. I mean, you know so much about this building.
Yes, so this building was built in 1872. It was intended to be a depot for both passenger and for freight. One of the nice things about this particular location is that it carried for east-west rail lines into Hartford area and then west to Poughkeepsie. And another rail line came up from Danbury up to Pittsfield. And so this is the crossroads, or what they would call the diamond, where trains would cross at a point. And so this building was here. This particular space was an old warehouse, so horses used to come in on the east side. They'd open up the door, they'd drop off their load, and then they'd leave the building from another exit, and then the trains would come and they would load from there. So local products would be brought in here.
But at one point you mentioned that this area where we're standing in burnt down, and it was finally slowly rebuilt.
Yes. So at some point in the 1970s, it switched from being an active freight building to started being used for restaurants. And there was a series of different restaurants in this part of the building. In 2001, it burnt down. There was an incident. Then the town leaders decided that they wanted to resurrect the building rather than raise it, since it's part of the center of the town. And since then, they've been rebuilding it and brought it back to life, and now we're here.
And you're bringing it back to life too.
Correct. Yes, and they're very happy. The town's very excited about this.
So the beer sitting on this bar, Chris, is called Derailed
Brown Ale.
Because you are keeping up with the theme here.
Right.
So talk a little bit about how it tastes.
This is one of our most acclaimed beers. A lot of people have thought this is a well-developed brown ale. It's got a nice rounded palate and finishes sort of roasty. Doesn't quite have that super sweet spot that you see in a lot of brown ales, and we love it.
All right, and then next week we're going to talk more about the beers and what they're going to be serving when you open on what day?
December 15th.
December 15th, all right, this is so exciting.
It is. And
so you're probably wondering who everyone is. So Aaron, taproom manager, we have the brewer, and of course your lovely wife. So this is exciting. So again, next week we're going to talk more about the beers, but let's have a toast.
That's great.
I'm sure you guys are so excited. All right, well cheers.
Cheers.
Something's Brewing at Great Falls Brewing Company.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
Salud.